Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Mika Chica. And for those who are returning, it is always nice to see you. Now, it's been a minute. But I just wanted to talk today about a movie called The Book of Clarence. And it's not getting as much traffic as I thought it was going to get, being it was kind of based on biblical stuff, but I guess people probably why it didn't do good because they thought what it was. But anyway, this movie blew my mind. It is a 2-hour plus movie, so I didn't want to do a reaction, but I'm going to do a review, and then I'll have clippets of the movie throughout the review. And I wrote some stuff down. Okay, because for one, Book of Clarence it's like not like an underdog story, but more of kind of like a different perspective. You have to watch it. I don't want to say it's hard to explain in words, but it has some spoilers. So if you ain't seen it, don't watch this because we have spoilers because we're going to get into it. But I had wrote down some clippets, some highlights that I did want to talk about. Okay. It takes place in biblical time, and Clarence is the twin brother of Thomas, one of the disciples. And he's a loose cannon, but not a loose cannon, compared to his brother, the disciple. So, what I wrote down, like Jesus and the disciples, they like famous people. They come in town, and this is for Bridgerton's about to start in a few weeks, so I'm just getting in my Bridgerton mood. We'll get to that when Bridgerton comes. But Jesus and his disciples come to town, and they're kind of like famous people. Everybody's like, oh, it's Jesus and this and that. And Clarence admires that, because who wouldn't, and this is where we learned that Thomas, one of the disciples, is Clarence's twin. This shows how, like, it's kind of like, I know Jesus through somebody, what's it called? 3 degrees of separation. It's kind of like that. Okay. And the movie is set up like the Bible will be set up in books. So Clarence have 3 books out this whole movie. Then that's what makes the movie, for one, so long. So we're going to talk about book 1, and then I'll do a video for book 2. Okay. So in the book 1, we learn all about who Clarence is and Jesus is and the disciples and the moderation that he likes from, like, the stuff that they get, how people respond to them when they come to town and stuff. And so then we also learn in book 1 that Clarence is in love with the king's sister. And I cannot remember his name. It's something the terrible. I can't remember, but I didn't write it down. But so he borrows, like, he's trying to win the love of the king's sister, but he's technically a nobody. So he try to win a race and some money. The money he borrowed, he races with it to try to double it to impress. Some men always get in trouble. Love. So he tries to impress the sister, but he winds up losing the race to Mary Magdalene. So yeah, you have to watch it. He winds up losing the race to Mary Magdalene. And so now he owes the king money, and he has 30 days to get the king this money. He's all like, oh no, what am I going to do? That's just the setup of the movies in book 1. And like I said, within it, we learn the town, we learn other characters, we learn like where he lives and all this stuff. And pretty much Clarence is pretty much an average everyday person. Okay, so now that Clarence have got into trouble with the king, he tried to think of a way to get out of it because the king said he's going to unalive him. He's going to kill him.
Make a deal with the devil. It's going to cost you a shekel. Now exit my place of restitution before I render those 29 days to zero.
So Clarence, with his best friend, he's sitting there pondering how he's going to get out of this. So the first thing he think of is, oh, let me find John the Baptist because he baptized Jesus, and once he baptized me, I'll be in God's favor. The king can't touch me. Well, he goes find John the Baptist. John the Baptist give him a good talking to. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Watch it. Okay, stop watching.
What?
You can let him out.
It takes a minute or
He
two.
is washed.
What did you say?
He is not that.
You want me to come and slap you?
Will you slap it?
Shut up!
Okay. So he gets baptized from John the Baptist, and he tries to go be a 13th apostle because he figures like my twin's apostle, let me be an apostle. I'll have protection. The king won't come kill me. So his first step to becoming an apostle is to get baptized. So he deals with John the Baptist, and that scene, we just played that scene, and then he goes to the apostles and say, hey, let me be a 13th apostle. I love Jesus. Well,
I thought I might become the 13th apostle.
they laugh at him. Everybody but Judas. His own twin even laughed at him, which is just a good representation of this movie. And titles are titles. So his own twin even laughed at him. Judas, of all the disciples, if you know the story of the disciples, then okay. But Judas is like, let's give him a chance, So they tell him to go free the slaves, thinking they're giving him something impossible to do. Clarence being Clarence, it's like, that's it, just free the slaves. So he go to, I want to say Barboso, but I don't think that was his name. I'm bad with names. So once one thing that we won't be a spoiler is their names. But he goes to go free the slaves. And of course, the man doesn't want to free them. And he said, well, you're going to fight my strongest fighter. And if you win, they get to go. And of course, if he win, you'll be dead. So, Clarence fights who this person claims to be immortal. Okay. So, let's jump to that. Let's check that scene out.
Those who are about to die, salute you. You hit me unprovoked.
Huh? Look alive.
Come on.
Okay, so as you can see, Clarence ain't no punk. He got some heart.
Come on.
Look at this. This is the best you got. You can do better than us. Hell? It's a hard faith.
Okay, so he wound up freeing one slave, and that man, he claims to be immortal, and so as you can see, his little group is started. Okay, what did he do after that? I don't remember. Okay, he goes back to the apostles and tells them that I free one. Once again, they laugh. Judas is the only one who applauds him.
You actually freed a slave.
Well done.
Younger brother, 10 minutes.
And it is none other than the almighty Barabbas.
And they still kind of dismisses him, and then they dismissed him in a very um an unkind way, I should say, for them to be who they were. They dismissed my boy bad. They dismissed him bad. They dismissed him so bad that he was like, F y'all. Knowledge is better than believing in some pretend God. You know, knowing something and believing is not the way to be. So now they got Clarence mad, thinking, oh, I'm not good enough to be an apostle. Y'all on that BS. You know, y'all feed all this bull crap to people. Then when I actually go try to do something, y'all laugh at me instead of embracing me. So Clarence is mad. Clarence was like, F y'all. Okay. F y'all. Do my own thing. So when he leaves there, I'm sorry, kitty. When he leaves there, they're in the back of the wagon, and Terrence, God. Clarence, I'm missing Thomas and Clarence together. Clarence is distraught. You know, he was thinking like, okay, because his own brother told him he was a nobody. Like, we're twins. And you go tell me if I'm a nobody, that means you a nobody. And come to find out, Thomas ain't a saint. And, you know, he may be a disciple, but he's no saint. He apparently, like, it's some stuff. I'll let y'all watch that and figure that out. I don't want to give everything away. But it's some stuff that Thomas have done while he's trying to be a disciple and act like Clarence ain't shit. We all have some family members like that, right? So Clarence is just like distraught at this point. He's like, oh my God, like, oh my whatever, because he didn't believe in God. I'm trying to be a better person. I got the king on me in 30 days. My own brother thinks I'm a nobody. And I freed a slave. You know, and that's hard to do back then, you know? So in the midst of, I think they're on their way back to town, I'm not sure, Clarence comes up with an idea. Should I play the footage of his idea?
On doit pas se traiter comme ça. Il y a de la dignité en nous, tu vois. C'est important de savoir. C'était comme moi, ça n'existe pas. Ça doit commencer par nous. I'm going to become the new Messiah. What, nigga?
But at the end of the book 1, leading into book 2, Clarence has literally a light bulb moment, and he has the plan to become the next Messiah, only because they made him feel some type of way. So now he has a point to prove. And so, but the movie so far is good. That's book 1. That's just book 1, y'all. And book 1 is probably about an hour long, or 45 minutes to an hour. No, I think 50 minutes to it. It's in there. But it's so much detail. Like I said, I didn't want to give everything away because there's so much other little hidden gems. And I think movies put stuff like that in them so you can find your own relation to them. But so far, go watch this movie if you haven't, because we're only on book 1. I know a lot of people before the movie came out was calling it blasphemy and all this stuff. But if you watch it, I think Clarence has a really good story that he's going to tell. Especially given the way it was set up. You see a couple of biblical characters pop up like Jesus and the disciples, Mary Magdalene, and then of course there's other key players and stuff. But so far it's setting up really nice. There is just a little mystery. There's not too much foreshadowing going on. You know, sometimes you can see a scene and be like, okay, that's going to come back later. It's not too much of that. It's usually, it's moving on. Just like a book. You know, it's moving on. The page turn. He's on to the next adventure. Mary and Joseph is in it. That's about it I got for book 1. I'm about ready to do book 2 because I've seen the whole movie all the way through, and I went back to take notes so I could tell you guys, and my mouth was like. And then when I get on like social media and stuff, there was nobody talking about it. And it's like, this is a good movie. The set was done beautifully. The acting was superb. The locations, the colors. I would compare this movie so far to A Knight's Tale if you've seen it. And I say that as in it took place in the older time and they have like a moderate sense of humor. If that makes sense. Even in little scenes, they have a little bit of modern music. You know, if you watch Bridgerton, they do that in Bridgerton too. That's what I'm getting ready for. I have nothing. So but yeah, that's it about the Book of Clarence. Stay tuned, like and subscribe. Like, ding, subscribe, ding. Make sure you hit that little bell so you know when I post another video. I encourage you, please go watch Book of Clarence. So by the time I post up the video for book 2, you will know what I'm talking about, or at least maybe have some questions or some discussion. I like stuff like this. So go watch Book of Clarence. I think it's on Prime. Yeah. It's on Prime, or y'all know what y'all do out there to go watch stuff, called Book of Clarence. It's a good movie. It's kid friendly. I watched it all through. There's no essay in it. So like if you have like younger kids like 9, 10, 11, they can watch it. And I think that's all for me. And as always, I will catch you on the next one. And I will catch you on part 2, book 2, Book of Clarence. And I hope I make a fan out of some of y'all. All right. And bye.